Okay, so today I had my second exam. It's at 2:30. Yesterday I spent the whole day revising, just going over everything, but I hadn't made my cheat sheet. And basically in our course we're allowed to bring in like an A4 page of notes into the exam. So yesterday I had spent the whole day revising, but I hadn't completed that A4 sheet. And I wanted to utilize this A4 sheet to kind of like finalize everything, to kind of like consolidate everything I had been revising for the day before, since I had a very short time to revise, so things weren't sticking, if that makes sense. And I wanted to use this A4 sheet to kind of like remember everything I've learned. But I hadn't done that yet because the day before I'd just been revising, right? So I got into school today. My plan was actually to kind of like wake up a bit early. I didn't want to stay late into the night than on the previous day. I thought like it'd be better if I woke up an hour earlier than going to sleep an hour later. I thought that would be better. It would be more healthier for me. But then I was thinking like, the exam's at 2:30. I could still fit in that hour's worth of work tomorrow. It wouldn't be, I wouldn't have all the time in the world, but it is viable the time I wake up if I get to uni at 10, like 10 to 2:30, like there is time to still make that cheat sheet. So when I got to uni, I went to the gym first and foremost. It was a leg day, because if you can do leg day, what's an exam? You know what I'm saying? Like if you can do like if you have the mind to like go through a leg day, then like an exam after that is nothing, right? So yeah, I still wanted to do gym. I didn't want to, skip it. Because I've been doing so many exams that I know that like staying late into the night to just churn out extra revision and like skipping gym the next day, I know that for me, like I've done things like that. I've been in this situation enough times to know that you're probably better off just sticking to the routine and allowing the task to fill the time you give to it, if that makes sense. Anyway, after that I went into Grand Cafe and got like a coffee, and now it's like, okay, now it's hammer time, right? So gym was 10 to 11, and then I kind of got to Grand Cafe probably like 11:15, right? So 11:15 I got my exam at 2:30, so like now is like crunch time, right? Okay, fine, get coffee, open my computer, and now it's like hammer time, right? So now I got to do my work. But then something kind of funny happened, and I thought this is a nice story to tell. There was like this, I was sitting by the window, right? And there was like this bee, right? Because it's very sunny today, it's very hot. It's been very hot recently. There was this bee, right? And it was like bouncing against the window. And like I could tell like it was very tired. It was very like, like it wanted to escape. But then like, and then it wanted to escape and it was tapping against the window. And like you can tell when it gets like a bit fatigued and tired, it kind of like stops flying and it just kind of like sits at the bottom of the shelf. So I was thinking like, okay, this bee's quite tired, and like I low-key wanted to like go and help it. But then I was thinking, number one, I was a tad bit scared. it's a big furry bumblebee. And number two, I was thinking like, okay, like people are gonna see me, that like I'm gonna have to be like crouching over and like doing all sorts of weird stuff. But then I was thinking to myself, I was sitting there doing my cheat sheet and I couldn't really focus because I was just thinking about the bee. So number one, I couldn't focus. Number two, I knew that if I didn't do anything, I would regret it later. And then I was thinking like, also, what is the point of me waking up, going gym every single day, training to be a superhero, if for when the time to be a superhero comes, you don't act? Do you get what I'm trying to say? I think Alfred said it best in The Dark Knight when he was like to Batman, what is the point of you doing all those bloody push-ups if you can't even pick up a bloody lock? Do you get me? What's the point? So I was like, okay, fine. I kind of like went there and I kind of kept looking at it until like, and then like I came back and said, no, I'm not going to do it. And then like it was on my mind. So then eventually I tore off one of the pieces of card from my notebook, and I kind of like shoveled it onto the thing, and I kind of like tried to lift it up onto the notepad. It wasn't coming on the notepad, which was a bit annoying, and I tried to like push it to the top window where the window was open. And I done it. I was very proud of myself. I was like, okay, nice. And then like, it was good because then I felt like a superhero afterwards. I was like, bro, win or pass this exam, you're already like, for today, you've won, right? You've saved the bee. you have like the spirit of bumblebee living inside you now. So I was like, if I do well in this exam and if I don't do well in this exam, it doesn't matter anymore because I saved this bee and I done something worth doing today. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I went back to my desk. I could finally focus now. And it was crunch time. I had to fill in that cheat sheet. Yeah, I was just working through that. I got through one half an hour. The cheat sheet still wasn't done and it was very sunny outside. So I went on a walk. I went past Canal Side. I saw everyone in my course around Canal Side all like together and like all, I assume, revising. And I was thinking like, you guys had a party without me? You guys invited everyone and they didn't invite me. I was like, But then I was thinking like, nah, it's because I'm an academic weapon and they know I'm too dangerous and they got to fight me together. They can't fight me one-on-one. So went out for a walk. I then went back into Grand Cafe and I done like another half an hour. And then like I went back out for another walk after another half an hour because it was like 2 half an hours and I still hadn't completed my cheat sheet. I felt good. I like the whole bee thing kind of like boosted my mood. So I felt kind of good about that. Went back in. I think I'd done that quite a few times. My cheat still hadn't been kind of done completely. On a walk, a slightly longer walk. I went back, I went into physics building and I had to warm up my food because now it's like getting quite close to the exam. So I went into physics building. I have to have, oh my God. I had to have something to eat because if the exam's at 2:30 and it's like 2.5 hours, it's 5 o'clock by the time we finish. Like I know I'm gonna need something. So I had lunch and I opened my computer, but I didn't start to do work until I finished my lunch. My friends came in because my friends who do the exam came in and they was like, oh, you should probably start doing your cheat sheet. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Okay, so basically after I ate, I had like 20 minutes left. I did finish my cheat sheet in time. Nice. And then I headed into the exam. So around like 2:25. I was a bit more on time this time, which is good. Okay, let me take a break.
A few moments later.
The exam was good. I think it was good. I think it was a bit hard. I think I done quite a lot in that day. So I think like the cheat sheet took a lot more energy than I thought it would. And so like I was a bit exhausted throughout the day. So by the time I got to like the exam, I was like, it wasn't that like I didn't care about it, but it was like, when you've done so many things and then like it's another thing on top of that. Like I was kind of like losing a bit of momentum and like motivation to kind of do things. It was okay. It was okay. It wasn't as good as the first exam. The only one thing I really want to mention about the exam is there were a few questions which, if you watch the previous video, you'll know that I was copying down example questions. But when it actually came to kind of like writing down the cheat sheet, that cheat sheet did not encompass everything it could have, right? It wasn't comprehensive of everything I had studied the next day. And it was a little bit frustrating because like there were very similar questions, which I felt that I could have potentially written down those questions into my cheat sheet and then I would have been able to better answer those questions and maybe get more marks. So it was that idea that there was something that I could have done that I didn't do and it prevented me from getting more marks. So I was a little bit frustrated about it. But as I've said, being in this situation so many times, I've learned not to beat myself up over things like that. The reason is because it's a hard idea to kind of explain in the very short time I have left because my iPhone keeps cutting me off because I don't have enough storage. But basically it's this idea that like the version of yourself or the side of you or the part of you that just went through all of this exam, who done the exam, who revised for the exam, who tried hard for the exam and got you to this stage whereby you could see what you done wrong. The second you complete all of that to then criticize and be harsh on yourself and to beat yourself up, like it's not good, if that makes sense. I haven't explained this right because it takes a bit more time to explain, but it's like you've just negotiated with your body to do all this work, right? Only for you to complete that work, and now you're criticizing your body for a mistake that it would have that you only know because you managed to get that far in the process anyway. So I didn't want to beat myself up about it because you have to settle with the limitations of something actual rather than the ideal perfection of just potential. I hope I said that right. But there isn't much time to continue talking because my iPhone keeps cutting me off. But basically, that was it. That was the exam. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it was still good. I was still happy with it. There was that, but you know, what can I do? After that, I kind of just went home. I walked with my friends to their station, and then I was thinking of maybe staying, but then I thought, nah, I just want to go home. There's no point me like spending money or anything. Like I'm not even going to enjoy it. It wasn't very nice doing an exam and then going home on the central line, especially as it was very hot. But I did do it. So yeah, thank you for watching.